The French Dispatch is a movie dedicated to the writers of a magazine which goes by the same name. And while it's that, it's also a movie consisting of poetic narrations.
Ennui rises suddenly on a Monday. As the sun sets, a medley of unregistered streetwalkers and gigolos replaces the day's delivery boys and shopkeepers, and an air of promiscuous calm saturates the hour.
Followed by a very briskly conducted scheme of cinematography, which most of the times seem very mechanical, while at the same time the movie evokes a sense of fabricated fableness. The set pieces are very obvious, the staging of the scenes are far too apparent, and yet none of it seems to bother us. The reason being that the movie plays a heavy subversion game on us by putting all the attention span towards the tales that are told.
It was another time. It was another ennui. Must be nearly 6 months ago, I guess. My sisters were still 12, anyway.
Hence, we start investing in that reality that we once questioned. If you've ever watched Band Apart by Jean-Luc Godard of the French New Wave, you will notice a similar technique, or rather a preference, in the way of the narration.
La dernière pensée d'Arthur avant de mourir fut consacrée au visage d'Odile, et qui, paraît-il, vient au monde sans pattes, de sorte qu'il ne se pose jamais. On ne le voit vraiment jamais, sauf quand il meurt. Il a des ailes transparentes plus longues que celles d'un aigle.
It is without a doubt that this movie incorporates such techniques, but what makes it even better are the other ideas and approaches that Wes Anderson combines, and it is the culminative result that leaves us awestruck by the end of the film. The construct of the film is relatively simple, which also means that the plot is simple. It is compartmentalized into 6 sections, 3 of which are stories. One is an introduction to the characters, one an introduction to the city where the stories take place, and the last one is a conclusion in the form of an obituary. Now, about those stories. It's very interesting because with each progressing story, the film becomes more complex, as though it's evolving under the freedom that it has gradually earned by letting the audience adapt and fit into a world that has been created. And we by now have invested so much in it that we can afford to take in some of the immensely sophisticated scenes and comprehend them with much ease. I call this approach the 2 advancing motives because it's a sequence which contains 2 motives or 2 separate things which are to be narrated. A story is built upon these motives as we go along. The narration of the 2 different things happen bit by bit, alternatively, and gradually everything is revealed. If you look at the 2 motives and the 2 stories built around them, you may find it amusing as to why the film made a choice of providing us with 2 random notions which have no connection whatsoever. However random they may be, it does kind of make sense when you look at the whole picture, as in when you play the scene, it's a reactionary impulse that seeps into our subconsciousness. Miss Lucinda Crements in this scene is a lady who is showing signs of disapproval despite being invited to a dinner gathering. She is annoyed of the fact that the hosts have invited another gentleman out of sympathy towards her because they think she is sad, and that she is sad because she is lonely. And as she tries to battle this misconception, a conflict arises, and a depiction of heavy trade between quotations and real-time conversation follows.
An additional dinner guest thus far fails to appear. For this I am grateful. Had not been informed of his invitation in first place.
It's a feeling very similar to being ignorant while retrospecting to things which happened in the past.
We didn't mean to offend you. We're sorry.
Oui, c'est vraiment. We thought you might decline the invitation if we warned you.
You were right.
And when your past catches up with you, you realize that there are certain fragments, certain things from the past which you would like to omit from your retrospection process.
Local news reports aggressive crowd control methods in use on street today. Quote,
Just give him a chance. He's very intelligent.
Really,
Papa lui en
Miss Russell, how
voudra.
long has it been since what's his name?
I know you mean well.
And it's those things that she believes is much too personal to include in an article that everybody is supposed to read and find entertainment value in. She's drawing a line between what's personal and what's writable. It's also a battle of maintaining journalistic neutrality.
It begins with a prickly tingling of the exposed skin.
Or maybe it's a way of making metaphor out of the quotations which are supposed to describe how annoyed she feels because of the misconception people have of her. That they think that
I'm
she's
not
an
an
old
old
maid.
maid.
We don't think that.
Personne ne
Mais
pense
jamais.
ça. Of course you're not.
But whatever the case may be, no one can deny that this is perhaps one of the best sequences from the film, because it has a conflict which I've already mentioned. A climax,
Then, a reddening and swelling of the orbital muscles.
Take me at my word. I live by myself on purpose. I prefer relationships that end. I deliberately choose to have neither husband nor children. The two greatest deterrents to any woman's attempt to live by and for writing. Why are we crying?
Because it's sad.
Oh,
We
Celeste,
don't want you to be lonely.
loneliness is a kind of poverty.
I'm not sad, my eyes hurt. There's something wrong with your apartment.
and finally, a resolution.
Finally, a barrage of searing pain as snot pours from the nostrils and the throat spasms and constricts.
Hey guys, if you liked my breakdown of this movie, then you could show your support by liking the video and subscribing to my channel. It's also the first of many breakdown videos that I plan to make of filmmakers who intrigue and inspire me. So until next time, I'll be seeing you.